Assalamu alaikum. What's going on, everybody? This is Iyari with you, the people's champion, here to drop some wisdom on you. So today's message is going to be about sermons and the effect of sermons on the soul. So everybody knows that Friday is the holy day for the Muslims. Well, I hope everybody knows. So we have what's called Yawmul Jum'ah, and this is the day where it's obligatory for men to come to the mosque, and we congregate together, and we listen to what's called the khatib, or the preacher, and he gives us an admonition to remind us how to stay on the right path, to stay in remembrance of Allah. The purpose of these sermons is to revitalize the heart, to revitalize the soul, and to reaffirm that our goal is to reach paradise. So this is a weekly thing. In almost all religious traditions, they have this same kind of thing. The Christians have their day on Sunday where they go to church. The Jews, Friday. I don't really know what Jews do, but Saturday is their day, the Sabbath. And everybody takes this thing seriously. So for the Muslims, who I'm addressing, this is a very important thing for us to realize that we need this. It is a needed thing. So the purpose of the sermon is to waken the heart so that we are awake. And this term woke is, it's abused these days. Everybody likes to be woke, but we need to really be woke, the spiritual woke. So the people are of three types when it comes to how they respond to admonition, how they respond to sermons. You have the people who, when they're in the sermon, their hearts are alive, they're awake, they're absorbing information, they're thinking how can they apply it to their lives, they are repenting, whatever it is that the imam is speaking about, they are aware of it and they're thinking of how they're going to implement it in their lives at that time. Then when they leave and the sermon is over, this thought is continuing, is still with them. It's continuing. They're still thinking how to implement this. So their heart is still alive. The khutbah has stayed with them. And these are the people that we want to strive to be like. The second type of person, which is probably the majority of people, is that while we are in the khutbah, our heart is awakened. We're thinking. But once we leave, now this is where the issue comes in. There's some people who completely forget and it's back to zero and they're living their life, and then Jum'ah comes again and it's rinse and repeat. Then there's some people who they leave, they remember a bit, they're pulled away by the dunya and they forget and they come back. So it's kind of like, when you were a kid, well, my generation, I don't think they whoop kids. Do they whoop kids still? They still whoop kids? Nah, kids don't get whooped these days. But in my days, kids got whooped, right? So there were two types. There were two types of kids. You had the hard-headed kids, unfortunately, who me, you had the hard-headed kids who, when mom and dad took the belt out, you knew you were going to get your licks. You took them. You got beat, and in your mind, you're saying, you know what? Once they start lashing me and they put the belt away, I'm going to forget about it. I'm going to go about my business. Then you had other kids who, once they saw that belt come out, they break down crying. They break down crying. They telling on everybody. They snitching everywhere, left and right. They telling everything. So the fear of that belt woke them up. Or it could be like surgery. Like there's some people who, when they're told they need to have a surgery, they're told that they have diabetes or something like that. At that moment, they take it seriously. The doctor's telling them, they're like, yes, I'm going to do this. As soon as they get home from that doctor, they're back to eating donuts and drinking purple Kool-Aid. Then there are others that when the doctor gives them the advice, they take it to heart. They stick to whatever dietary regime the doctor tells them. They take the medicine all the time. They do the exercise. They do all those things, right? So people are generally like this. This is how generally the people are. But then you have the last category, which are probably, the psychopaths of the world. The people that no matter how hard you talk to them, no matter how much you talk, no matter how hard, no matter how much emphasis you put to them, they're not going to listen. They're not going to change. My mama calls these people hard-headed. These people are hard-headed. knuckleheads. However, even for these people, there's hope. It's like a rock. Water can drip on a rock day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. And you think that the water is negligible. You think the water is not doing anything. You see the rock as something massive and strong. But day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, you will notice that a hole is forming in that rock. And eventually, those droplets of water will crack that rock. So the same thing with those knuckleheads, hard-headed people out there. We don't give up hope on those people unless they're truly psychopathic and they seriously have something wrong with them. We still leave hope for those people, that hopefully that the remembrance will benefit these people. And it will eventually, year after year, no matter what, you keep giving them down, they keep coming to the khutbahs, they keep coming to the certain sermons. And one day the message is going to get through to them and it's going to enlighten their hearts. So this is the message for today, folks. Let's take these admonitions seriously. Ramadan is coming. Let us try to benefit as much as we can from this short time period. You know, while we're fasting, it looks like it's going to be long and strenuous. But believe me, once we get into the month, it moves very quickly. You know, the first third comes, then we're in the middle, then all of a sudden we're in the last third, wishing that we had done more. So let's start Ramadan off doing as much as we can, benefiting from the khutbahs of Ramadan, because normally these are the best khutbahs that we're going to face. So as usual, my message to the folks out there is to smile and stay classy. Assalamu alaikum.